Welcome to News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Kroos. Here now the news for June 29th, 2020. We're coming to you live from Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani Village, which of course opened with several Disney Vacation Club resorts earlier this week. As Walt Disney World's reopening plans move forward on schedule, new details are surfacing regarding work conditions for cast members. As was previously revealed for Disneyland cast members, a similar option for face shields, in addition to face masks, will be provided for those working in situations where social distancing will not be possible. As was previously reported, guests will be required to wear face masks and won't be allowed into any indoor locations without wearing them. Almost all attractions cast members will be wearing face shields. These shields will be provided to them and are mandatory for cast members in these positions. Hand sanitizer will also be provided to all cast members, and refilling stations will be implemented. Many cast members have voiced concerns about the reopenings, especially given the recent record-breaking spike in confirmed COVID-19 cases here in Florida. Cast members looking to seek alternative job positions or placement in backstage areas are reportedly not being accommodated and are instead being told to accept the terms of their callbacks or be separated from the company. Local 362 Union President Eric Clinton took a visit to the Walt Disney World Resort theme parks ahead of their reopening, which is scheduled to start on July 11th. The visit included seeing the new safety measures put into place at the parks, as well as visiting with cast members. Now we see images of Eric visiting Disney's Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and the Magic Kingdom. You can also see the work on Cinderella Castle behind him in that shot. The visit makes sense as cast members for many locations are beginning to be called back to work ahead of the reopening, and other select resorts have been working since June 14th. With the opening of the Magic Kingdom for cast previews a mere 8 days away, and work on the makeover of Cinderella Castle having restarted earlier this month after the extended closure, one question looms. Will the transformation of the iconic castle be complete when the parks reopen? Now we're getting an idea of what the answer may be. Likewise, work on Tron Light Cycle Run resumed a little over a month ago, and we're taking a look at how that project is coming along as well. Front and center is Cinderella Castle. The transformation of the castle, which was announced in February and began shortly after, is bringing royal blue turrets, gold accents, and quite a bit of rose pink to the Magic Kingdom icon. As it stands now, it appears the entirety of the main castle structure has received the royal treatment. Taking a look from a higher angle, we can also see the smaller towers which sit in front of the castle have been similarly converted. The roofs appear to have been fully painted in the new royal blue, and gold accents can be seen as well. Looking a bit more closely at those towers, we can see that the gold accents aren't quite complete, as the two towers on the left still have a few areas that are split between the old gray and the new gold. Underneath those details and covered in tarp, it appears that new banners may also have been installed on the towers, the closest elements to guests in the hub. Elsewhere in the castle, the lift is extended for workers to continue adding color detail to the castle. And while we don't have a good view of what element they're working on, their mere presence indicates that the outer turrets are not quite complete. With that being said, it appears the vast majority of the castle is indeed finished and may well be transformed in time for the park's reopening. Moving over to Tomorrowland, Tron Light Cycle Run is undergoing construction activity on a daily basis. Work on the Shanghai Disneyland Attractions clone, which was announced back in 2017, underwent a brief delay during the park's extended closure, but has since resumed. The main building for the roller coaster still remains exposed, with paneling having been added to two sides before the closure. But the southern and eastern sides still have yet to receive such coverings. Scaffolding extends to the roof of the structure on the side closest to Space Mountain, and we can see additional scaffolding pictured to the right of the building extending a bit higher. Recently, most work on the site has been internal or involved support for the canopy structure. The attraction was originally scheduled to open for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World next year, but that date is in doubt due to the closure delays. Guests looking to visit Walt Disney World Resort in 2021 are in luck, as theme park tickets are officially available to purchase as of June 28th. Opening to the purchase page, there's a friendly reminder at the top to view the availability calendar before purchasing tickets. You then move into the section that allows you to purchase for a day, multiple days, or up to 10. You then have the choice to buy a single-day ticket, the water park and sports option, or the Park Hopper or Park Hopper Plus option. Tickets are available beginning January 1st and run until September 26th of 2021. You can purchase your tickets by visiting a link on our website. It's in the story. You may experience a holding window similar to one we saw on last Monday when the Park Pass system went live. Our same tips apply here. Use Google Chrome as your browser and go directly to the link we're providing for a streamlined experience, and pack your patience. Discounted tickets for 2021 are now available to Florida residents. From Disney, the offer states, quote, enjoy an action-packed visit to the Walt Disney World Resort. Florida residents can save 40% on 4-day tickets and 30% on 3-day tickets compared to non-Florida resident prices of a 3-day or 4-day ticket. If you want to visit for a day, one park tickets start at $109, depending on the date and the theme park. Florida residents can save on 1-day tickets with Park Hopper option, which offers 1-day admission to multiple theme parks at Walt Disney World. Last week, we were able to catch a ride on a Walt Disney World Resort bus, which began operation with new social distancing measures in place, including specific places for parties to sit and plexiglass dividers. After reviewing those procedures, we were curious about what other transportation methods around the resort would look like, and we were able to get a look inside at the monorails. Parked inside the Contemporary Resort, we found this particular monorail with what looks to be a vinyl partition hanging inside the cabin. The new covering is anchored to the roof of the monorail. A better shot from the outside of the monorail lets us see the cabin is practically split in two. Of course, the monorails will resume operation supposedly with the reopening of the theme parks on July 11th. In the continuing saga that is the status of Animal Kingdom Lodge Jambo House, there has been another change. You may remember on June 21st, we broke the list and dates for the remaining Walt Disney World resorts to reopen, and Jambo House was included and set to reopen on July 10th. Then on June 25th, there was an update that removed Animal Kingdom Jambo House from the list of resorts that would be reopening with no date listed. At that point, Jambo House then joined All-Star Resorts, Port Orleans Resorts, and Wilderness Lodge as having neither a scheduled reopening date nor 2021 availability. Well, now we bring you a new update that Animal Kingdom Jambo House will be saying Jambo to Vacation Club guests only starting on July 10th, which was the original reopening date for the entirety of the resort. However, there are a few important details about the reopening you should know. Outside of guests being able to use the check-in area and the pool area at Jambo House, nothing else on that side of the resort will be open. For guests wanting to shop, dine, or use any resort amenities, other than that, they will have to either walk or take a complimentary resort shuttle over to where we are right now, Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani Village. On June 27th, Disney's Fantasia Gardens miniature golf courses, reopened at the Walt Disney World Resort. This golf course features a gardens course and a fairways course, so it's a great place for some family fun outside of the theme parks, which you know are closed still. Walking up, there's a lot of signage leading to the temperature check screening, including a COVID-19 warning, as well as guidelines required for entering. You must pass a temperature screening, obviously, must wear a mask, and keep parties 6 feet apart. Stickers placed on the ground 6 feet apart from each other read, please wait here, to help create a line for guests as they wait to get their temperature screening. We're glad to see this area is covered as it's really hot out, and we know because we went yesterday and it was 100 degrees while we mini-golfed. Luckily, they have water for guests if need be. Temperature screening is complete. You'll notice the white tables with umbrellas can still be used. However, every other table will remain empty. For your safety, not available signs have been placed on several tables. However, anyone can sit at the wooden picnic tables, and they have been placed 6 feet apart from each other. Walking up to the check-in area, you'll notice that there's now a clear one-way in and out. The right side is to be used for guests checking in to play a round of golf with arrows pointing them forward. The exit side is clearly marked with an exit-only sticker and arrows leading the way out. There have also been stickers added to the nearby cash register to keep parties separate. Fantasia Gardens Miniature Golf is open starting at 10 a.m. with the Gardens course closing at 10 p.m., the Fairways course closing at 9. Taking a drive around the Walt Disney World Resort this week, an interesting development at the Transportation and Ticket Center caught our eye. It appears that multiple white tents, which we're assuming will be used for temperature screenings, have cropped up. Around this area, we can see that the project isn't complete as vehicles and supplies can still be seen all around the site. We can see that signs are placed inside the tents, so we can't exactly see what they say. It also appears that inside the tents, it is incredibly spacious. Around the tents, we also see metal barricades have been set up. We assume these are temperature screenings. At the very least, they're the cool-off tents, like the ones we've seen at Disney Springs, but they're certainly getting ready for that July 11th reopening, and certainly all the previews that'll be happening in the days before that at the Magic Kingdom. The Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation recently announced that all bars that sell alcoholic beverages and derive more than 50% of gross revenue from those sales must suspend the sale of alcohol for consumption on the premises due to the spike in cases around the state. When the announcement was made around noon on June 26th, locations such as Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar at Disney Springs were still in operation. Cast members awaited further instruction from management before finally shutting the bar down around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. The fan-favorite bar had just reopened the day prior to the announcement. It's unknown when it will be allowed to reopen once again. Other bar-centric locations like Dockside Margaritas and the cocktail portion of the various snack kiosks throughout Disney Springs are now closed. Bars are still allowed to sell alcoholic beverages in sealed containers for off-the-premises consumption, but it seems that for the time being, they've decided to cease operations. Restaurants may continue to sell alcoholic beverages on premises as long as 50% or less of their gross revenue comes from the sale of alcoholic beverages. This week, aerial flyovers will begin happening at the Disneyland Resort starting on today, Monday, June 29th. During these flyovers, a helicopter will fly over the Disneyland Resort, collecting footage during the hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The update comes to us via Twitter user @Magic&Walnut. Disneyland Resort could be using this footage for 3D park mapping, but that hasn't been confirmed as of yet. Disneyland Resort also isn't the first to have their parks mapped, as Walt Disney World Resort theme parks were actually mapped just a few days ago. Last week it was announced that Disneyland Paris would be reopening on July 15th, and since that point, a steady stream of information has been released by the resort's guest services, answering all our questions about how the COVID-19 pandemic and lengthy closures will affect future visits to the resort. A topic on many guests' mind is annual passes and what Disneyland Paris will be doing to make up for the 4-month losses on the pass since they closed back on March 15th. Thankfully, it has now been revealed that passes will be automatically extended by the number of days the parks were closed, so 123 days. Alongside this, Disneyland Paris has also added an extra 30 days to all annual passes in order to thank guests for their patience and understanding during the adjustment period. In total, that's 153 days added onto all passes, the equivalent of 5 full months. This offer is applicable to all existing annual passes, Discovery, Magic Flex, Magic Plus, and what I've got, Infinity, including those which should have expired during the closure period. If you have a pass and would like to check your updated expiration date, you can input your details into the website linked in our story. Hopefully this will provide some positive reassurance for pass holders as we all wait to get back to Disneyland and Walt Disney Studios parks in Paris. With the reopening announcement came lengthy details of the all-important health and safety protocols that will be in place throughout the parks and hotels, similar to those we have seen at the other reopened Disney resorts across the world. One of the most important guidelines, which guests will have to adhere to, is the physical distancing of no less than 1 meter between parties at all times. In order to help reinforce the requirement, images of new signage the resort have been revealed thanks to DLP Report on Twitter. According to DLP Report, new social distancing markers have been placed on the ground throughout the resort. The markers in Disney Village are blue in color, whereas the ones in Disneyland Park are green, and the ones at Walt Disney Studios Park will be red. The bold floor markers clearly inform guests of where not to stand in both English and French. The markers can be seen forming lines leading up to Annette's Diner in Disney Village, ready to direct the socially distanced queues upon returning. In celebration of the reopening news and to share the excitement of the return, Disneyland Paris has released a magical new TV spot, an advertisement, if you will, featuring the park's newest tagline, "There is no magic without you." The advertisement shows views of the stunning Sleeping Beauty castle with its glittering gold accents against the dreamy shades of bluish pink and navy blue. On top of the tallest spire is Tinkerbell, sprinkling pixie dust high above the resort. In the background is the song "Someday My Prince Will Come," sung with the title "That Day Has Come," finally emerging on screen, announcing that the park is soon to reopen. On June 25th, it was announced that Splash Mountain in the Magic Kingdom and at Disneyland would be receiving a retheme to Princess and the Frog. Now, according to I'm going to butcher this, the Asahi Shimbun, Tokyo Disneyland, it's some Japanese publication. I apologize to them. Tokyo Disneyland is considering whether their Splash Mountain should receive a retheme as well. In the article, it states, quote, Oriental Land Company, operator of Tokyo Disneyland, said June 26th, discussions were still underway on whether to change the popular attraction following a decision by Disney in the United States to change the theme of the ride at 2 of its amusement parks there. I will note that the Japanese are very kind people and would not want to offend anyone. Let's remember that they declined to update Pirates of the Caribbean and change the auction scene. So it is likely that they're just being polite in saying that they're going to change this, and if they were going to do it, it likely would have been announced with the other 2 Splash Mountains in the world. I'll just throw that out there. I don't know that for sure, but that is definitely the way they are. They don't want to offend anybody, but also they probably want to keep the ride with cute talking animals. It's a thing they like. It's been a while since we've given an update of the massive Fantasy Springs expansion at Tokyo Disney Sea, but now that we have a reopening date, we're going to be able to have better access to the resort and maybe see this expansion take shape firsthand once again. Thanks to Twitter user @DisneyMania, we have a closer look at some of the different set pieces that'll be used to captivate guests in the upcoming expansion. Some of these set pieces resemble a beautiful natural landscape. These pieces also might belong to the Arendelle area with its mossy hills. Other set pieces resemble brick walls that might be a part of Rapunzel's tower. While we don't know exactly what pieces are, we do know we're excited for that expansion whenever it does finally open. The castle gates aren't quite open or even installed yet, but with how construction is taking shape at Arendelle, the world of Frozen at Hong Kong Disneyland, guests won't have to wait much longer before its grand opening next year. Thanks to Twitter user HKDL of Fantasy, we now have an overhead and up-close look at the Arendelle Castle as it starts to come to life. From an overhead view, we can see the construction just behind Toy Story Land, where the exterior of the Arendelle Castle is starting to take shape. The pillars and spires of the castle can be seen, as well as some track pieces for what looks like wandering oaken sliding sleighs. Just to the left of the exterior castle pieces, it looks like the construction of the show building where the Frozen Ever After attraction will reside. Moving to ground level, we can see work being done on more of the exterior castle walls. The spaces for windows and extra exterior pieces have been marked on the steel structure, and what looks like the castle gates entrance is taking shape as well, giving us a view at the construction right behind the facade pieces being built. D23 has announced that it will be postponing Destination D Fantastic Worlds until 2021 due to the ongoing pandemic. A new date will be announced later this year. The full announcement reads, quote, "Due to the global impact of the virus and protocols necessary to ensure social distancing, we've made the difficult decision to postpone this year's Destination D event until 2021. We plan to announce a new date for Destination D later this year and will continue to host exclusive virtual events through 2020. We look forward to seeing you at D23 events in the near future." D23 Destination D Fantastic Worlds was set to return to Walt Disney World Resort on November 20th through the 22nd. Destination D's theme this year was meant to honor Disney's many magical places, from the extraordinary to the fantastical. As part of the announcement, again, they said they will host online events. This does raise an interesting question, though. Next year was supposed to be the D23 Expo. I have never seen them do a Destination D and a D23 Expo in the same year, so maybe the Expo is now thrown off a year as well, but they have not announced that yet. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to WDWNT.com. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to WDW News Today on YouTube for more great content, and click the bell for notifications. Also, make sure to hit select all notifications so you never miss an episode of News Today with WDW News Today. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Kwaharini, everyone. Go well.
4 panelists, 30 minutes, 1 week in Disney Parks news. This is Parks Center. On Parks Center, the panel and I cover the top 7...
7?
Yeah, 7 Disney Park stories of the past week. From attraction news to transportation scandals to new food and merchandise, we'll cover it all in 30 minutes or less. You can watch us stream live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. at WDWNtunes.com, watch episodes on demand at youtube.com/WDWNT, or subscribe to the audio version of the show on your favorite podcast app.